All right, so I just had ChatGPT go through one of Jack Morgan's videos, and this is what it had to say about it. This rant reflects a deep frustration with the current economic and workplace dynamics, which resonate across generations but are particularly acute for Gen Z and millennials. The theme of dissatisfaction, lack of upward mobility, and the delusion with the American dream resonates strong in today's socioeconomic climate. Here's a structural breakdown. I'm not going to bother with the structural breakdown. It's every one of my videos. So that's where that ended. And I created a script from the perspective of a very poor educated woman. And to that effect, I added a talking point section, and this is what it has to say about the key points of Jack Morgan's most popular videos. So I took a ChatGPT, hashed all that stuff together. It gave me three talking point outlines: the broken promise of hard work, exploitation in the modern workplace, the shift towards survival over success. There's a lot of fluff in there. Yesterday, I was reading an article on Forbes that was mentioning that people will tune out of your talk, of your podcast, of your video, if they feel like you're just reading an AI generated script. So I don't read scripts. I use AI to generate the content, but then this is all me. I may read a sentence to get me started to react to the sentence, but it's not an AI generated script. AI generates very, I'm going to say, boring content. It can't relate, it doesn't have personal stories. It's hard to be able to understand how a machine thinks about human beings being tortured in the workplace for practically nothing. It doesn't see anything wrong with that. It's a cold, thoughtless machine that processes data. That's all ChatGPT does. Is it processes data, just the same way that our society processes human beings. All it does is take data sets, crunches them together, makes them like look human-like, but that's where it stops. I mean, the thumbnails. I have no idea what you guys are looking at while you guys are listening to this because I generate the backgrounds from the script. I literally just tell it, make me a background for what I'm talking about. And this is what it comes up with. So I really don't have much control. I'm sure I could take more creative control. But remember, I used ChatGPT AI tools to show you the grotesque nature of AI. That's why I leave in the misspellings, the strange humanoid pictures, the thumbnails are generated with the very same basic commands every day. Make a thumbnail with a girl, and that's it. It generates the backgrounds, her face. Sometimes it's generated some pretty odd looking people. I have to keep telling you, make it a little bit less scary or more human like, at least. All right, with all of that said, let's get into our talking points for this Saturday morning. So, our first one, and we're going to start out with, again, so far I've never actually watched a Jack Morgan video from one end to the other. It reminds him kind of a Alex Jones like character. From what ChatGPT said about him, he likes to throw things around and go into rants. So, again, never seen the guy. Big fan of Alex Jones acting, though. When that guy said he's going to turn the frogs, you know what? I lost it. Some of the things, his showmanship was top notch. He was crazy, but it was top notch. All right, let's go. This disconnect between effort and reward has led to widespread delusionment with traditional careers. For all of you people in the comments, if I get one more comment about trade schools, I am going to lose my you know what on this channel because where do you guys think I work? That's where I work. I've been working at schools my entire life, from university to the other kind of school, to the for-profit schools. And so I get to see this every day. I get to see students show up with a look of, I'm going to take on the world. And by the time they get that certification, they realize, oh my God, what have I done? And this isn't a localized thing. I know a lot of people that have gone to traditional university and a trade school to learn how to do beauty school is the most common thing that I know girls that do it because I go to a lot of salons. So, receptionist girl at the salon, the one that's normally there during the week, she tried it. She has a 4 year degree. She couldn't get a job with a 4 year degree, so she got a master's degree. Once she couldn't make money with her master's degree, she went back to beauty school, learned how to do hair, and now she has 3 jobs and one of them's cutting hair. That's not a successful career. In fact, this morning I was talking to receptionist girl number 2 that works at the same gym. She's usually there only 1 day a week, and I got her number today because we like talking to each other. She's extremely cute. For the longest time, the fact her general appearance just there was something off about her that I didn't like, but once I started talking to her, I really, really liked her, and I've only seen her twice in 6 weeks. And today I said, "Here, call me," and she's like, "I will call you, Millennial Stain." And it just happens. Sometimes when you meet people, I don't know what it is about meeting people when you really like people, even though you only talk to them in certain situations. But sometimes you just move because how do I put this? Sometimes you just have to move in a way in which you're going to have either chemistry or no chemistry. And it's not a one sided equation. Either you move together or you don't move at all. So I had that conversation with the cougar yesterday for over an hour in my office. And that's a whole video onto itself. But guys, I hate to break this to you. I really do. But I was talking to her, and she said that the only reason guys get first dates is if she's attracted to you. She'll give you the second, the third, and the fourth. By the fourth, she's made up her mind that she's attractive enough to keep you as a platonic friend. But that's it. That's where you're caged, you're friend zoned. Your junk is locked in the box. And no matter what, she's going to call and ask you out. But romance, it is dead. That's why anytime a girl sends me a yellow heart, I'm like, you send me another yellow heart, and you're getting blocked. All right, so let's see here. So the disconnect between effort and reward led to widespread delusion with traditional careers. So let's look at traditional careers. What is a traditional degree? Careers. I mean, I look at my 4 college degrees. I've never had a real job. I've never had a traditional career. My current job's a dead end. And despite as much, and I just had this discussion less than an hour ago with gym girl receptionist number 2, and she's doing the same thing. She has a 4 year degree, a liberal arts degree, matching one of my own. Another reason why we like talking so much. So she has a 4 year psychology degree. She currently works in a behavioral place with special needs children, but she doesn't make any money. Now, this is something I've heard continuing to happen out there. They have traditional educations, but the traditional career isn't there. So what's the disconnect? What happened here? Did traditional education and traditional careers suddenly get divorced? Or did something change in our society in which it has made it nearly impossible to survive with a traditional education? That is my question to you. What happened? Are our special skills school learning to use your hand skills? Do these no longer fill the traditional career? My answer to that question is it's obvious. It's 100% obvious that something in our society has changed. Something has broken in our society when even STEM majors are looking for jobs and not finding any. I have been putting in applications regularly into Indeed for the last 3 weeks. I have not had a single call back, people. Not one phone call, not one email, not one response. But we have 4% unemployment. How is this possible that there are hundreds? I personally know half a dozen women that are looking for better jobs right now, including gym receptionist number 2. And she's frustrated. In fact, she's so frustrated, she's thinking about moving back home. Why? Because it's the only escape there is for young people with traditional educations. move home. My entire graduating class, everyone that I knew when I finished university in 2017, knew they were well aware that the roommate time was over in their life and it was time to go back to the nest because it wasn't safe to be out here in this job economy. The only thing that's out here is crap jobs, and it's even hard to get one of those. Talking point number two, a workforce that views jobs as transitional rather than aspirational, focusing on survival instead of climbing the corporate ladder. What corporate ladder? I've been at my corporate job for 3 years. There's no ladder coming down. In fact, I keep getting kicked further and further down the ladder. There's not going to be a pay increase in my current job. That's even if I can keep my current job. I've been telling you guys for weeks now that the wheels are turning against millennial steam, and I'm doing everything I can not to end up in the gutter. But this job market is not good. And transitional uh transitional oh my god, why did she do this? All right, so one of the first times I've ever had to stop the recording, I just got an emergency phone call from an acquaintance asking me what they should do in a situation in which I told her that she needed to get out of that business as soon as possible because the person that they hired doesn't have the right training to be doing that job, and she just hurt her very badly. So again, this is something that we have to deal with in the workplace. The lack of customer service right now in the bottom tier jobs isn't accidental. Gen Z is doing the traditional behavior that we've expected from most people in crappy jobs. The customer level score right now at restaurants, at coffee shops, even at the gas station is bottom tier. They don't care. These Gen Zs and people who are at the bottom, they are acting like they want to at work. It's not that how does that expression go? Management. Stop acting like you don't want to be here, especially in customer service. They're not acting corporations. This is exactly how they feel that this is the low tier work you're paying them for. They're not coming to work to work. They're coming to work as a middle finger to Evil Corp. And every corporation in America should realize this and ask themselves, why are these workers showing up at work like they don't want to be here? Because they don't. Because you're not paying them. You're not treating them well, and they know it. So when you come to work and you're being paid nothing, and you know you're a wage slave, you're going to act your wage. The wagee comes to work and acts his age. You don't like that, Evil Corp, because guess what? It's destroying your businesses. It's destroying fast food. It's destroying the way that people feel about overpriced grocery stores. Anytime there has to be a human interaction with someone that's acting their wage, the person who's spending their money there doesn't like it. I'll tell you, my interaction with every single person I've had to talk to today, or barely talk to, whether it was at the grocery store, at the gym, at the haircut place. Every single interaction I had today was one of the most phony interactions that I've ever had with a person in customer service, and they don't want to be there, and I don't want to be there. But somehow corporate America thinks that they're going to turn this around. You're not going to turn this around, corporate America. People are showing up at work disgruntled because you're treating them like absolute garbage, and people have gotten to the point where they don't like being treated like garbage. But you continue to use the same outdated model for paying people. A $7.25 federal minimum wage is a farce. It is a joke. It is hilarious. And the fact that the pros have not risen up in complete and total anger over a $7.25 federal minimum wage. I don't care if it's twice that. That's what it is in Arizona. $14.35. What are you supposed to buy with a minimum wage that can't buy you a Happy Meal? That can't buy you A basic fast food meal. Fast food now costs $20. Why? Why is it it's so expensive? Oh, corporations will tell you about high transportation costs and high wages and high food costs. They'll make up every excuse in the book. But guess what? They're going to pay the executives first, and then everyone else gets paid. That's how they look at it. They pay the people that are the most important there the best salaries, 1,000 to 1 salaries comparatively to the proletariat. And then they wonder, why does no one want to work here? Why are workers so terrible? And then on top of that, you make it nearly impossible at any corporate job to hire anyone. And then you ask yourself again that stupid question. Why does no one want to work? And you have to go look at yourself as an executive and think, am I the problem? Yes, you are. And you will always be the problem because you always prioritize the executives, the rich people first, and then you tell the poor that they got to figure it out with 2, 3, 4, 5 jobs, all paying nearly the same amount. Once you figure that out, Evil Corp, you're going to solve your problems with customer service and people who are willing to come in and throw away their money for low tier service and low quality food. All right, so getting into our final talking point. Sorry, guys, I had to go on a rant because I was pissed off at getting that phone call in the middle of doing this. All right, so here we go. The focus has shifted from building a future to surviving the present. I have been saying this for years. The proletariat in the current system does not have a future. Your future is not bright. You have no job security. You have no career. You have a job in which you're surviving every single minute of the day. That's how I feel. And I know that's how you guys feel out there as well. Because we've been in survival mode for so long. Like things just deteriorated during the pandemic. The system was horrible. But the pandemic gave the corporations just that much more leverage to crush the proletariat into the ground. We knew that there was going to be revenge from COVID from the very beginning. I knew the second that there was a federal unemployment benefits, there was going to be a reckoning when it came to corporate America. Corporate America losing that time, their strength, excuse me, strangling your nads for so long. You know, corporate America didn't want closures. Corporate America didn't care what happened to society. They wanted record profits coming in. And for that to happen to them, to take away all of their cheap labor and let people go hide inside for a couple of years, corporate America was pissed off out of its mind. And it came out swinging at the proletariat. And this is what we've seen. The proletariat has taken it to the nads so hard that we don't know what to do. We're still gasping from being kicked so hard that we're just like trying to figure it out. I'm trying to figure it out. I don't know what the hell to do right now. I can't find a job. I can't get a raise. I can't move out of this dump. I can't get a better car. I can't do anything. I'm just effing stuck. And it's so frustrating not to know what to do. There's no escape hatch. There's no plan. There's nothing. Your traditional education is worthless. Jobs suck. That's really what it comes down to. Jobs suck right now. And they're going to get suckier because now we know who's in charge and who's going to let these jobs get even suckier. Once they deport all of these people that are doing these jobs that suck, guess what? There's going to be a task force. There's going to be a draft for jobs because no one's going to want to do these jobs. And our society can't function without the bottom level people acting as human doormats for the corporations. So, all right, guys, got super heated there, but it's time that we get mad. I'm tired of doing this show and pretending like, oh, well, we'll just give them more time. You know, eventually they'll turn around. Maybe they'll realize that that car battery attached to our nads for motivation isn't working as great as it did because look at them. They just seem to grimace and take it. Raise prices on food, raise the rent, no benefits, no crappy jobs. Oh, look, they just seem to, the proletariat seems to be getting along really well with that car battery. So guess what? We're going to put 2 car batteries and make things even worse for them. See how they like that. As long as those profits stay good for corporate America, they're going to keep doing it to us until we scream.